Sorry. Ah, so I am creating an object. No, now you see. So when I create an object, first thing is it will go and see the fields or all the fields we have. Second, it goes to this constructor. Okay. Now it assigned the model with Mustang. No, so it initialize the value of a model equal to Mustang. So I can either initialize the fields by this way using a constructor. A constructor is used for this only to initialize values to the fields of a class. How is this called automatically? I am not doing anything. No, like I'm not doing anything. I've just created an object. But how does this see? I have many different constructor. But if you see, when I am creating an object, it just automatically went to this constructor. But let's say I'll run it. It will not go to these two constructors. See, it came out. That's all. Why it went to this constructor and it did not go to these two constructor? That is because when you are creating an object, no class 4, and if you are doing new class of 1 means this is the constructor. This is the constructor. See, class of class 1 with empty parameters. So it automatically went the class doesn't. And one more thing, constructor is not a mandatory part of a class. You don't need to have a you don't need to have a constructor too. If you do not have a constructor and you create an object, your C sharp will automatically create a constructor of its own in its runtime. Okay. So constructor is not mandatory for you to create, but if you do not create a constructor, your C sharp will create a constructor, and that will look like this. See, that code and all you will not see, but it will create as a default constructor. That's all. It will be like an empty constructor because anyways you are calling a constructor here. That's all. This is how you can create a object for a class. Okay. So a constructor should be in the same name of the class. It can also have parameters. Yes, you can, while you are initializing and while you are creating an object, you can pass value to the constructor and initialize it. Here I am writing an static code. Okay, so initializing a model value here, that I can send it from the from when I create an object. See, class 1 param 4, I'm sending this Mustang 1 from here. So look at this. New class of one parameter, where it is, where we have one parameter, it's here. I'll again run it. Ah. Okay, now you see it comes here and it directly goes to this constructor where we are sending the Mustang 1, because this, when I am creating this object, this goes to a constructor with one parameter. Got it?
Yes.
And same way, if you see here, it goes to one with 3 parameters. Any questions on constructors and how to create an object?
No, no.
Okay, so constructors and creating object is pretty very simple. So it is based on your right side, that's all. This means without any parameters, this means with one parameter, and this means with 3 parameters. See, these are different ways to initialize an variable inside a class. Okay, I am doing that by sending the parameter and initializing using the constructor. And I also told you constructor is not a mandatory thing inside a class. Let's say if you do not have a constructor, if you're not having constructor, you can directly create an object, and object dot that method is equal to object dot that variable. You can assign the value. That's all. Very simple, straightforward. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you should do only by constructor. You should pass all the details by constructor, and this doesn't mean that. But yeah, constructor is one of the important topic. I would say that um, basically, see, anytime you create an object, you are creating an constructor. Even though you are not writing a constructor, you are creating a constructor. That is the concept in C sharp. Okay, in C sharp, when you are creating an object for class, by default you create an constructor. Okay, so use the concept of constructor. That's what C sharp says. But it's our wish to use constructor, and to not use constructor is our wish. Okay, uh, because of using constructor, your code is not going to run fast, or because you're not using, your code is not going to run slow. It's same, everything is same. Okay, so that is the concept of constructor. You have any questions on constructors? Mostly you'll see these constructors in interviews only.
And like if when we should use like in the real life project for these
That's
things.
what I said. No, see, real time project. See, this doesn't have any specific goal to use in real time. Basically, let's say, see, you have an class in your real time, and you have many objects in real time. Okay, or
Okay.
variables in real time. You
Okay.
want to assign assign value to these variables. Okay. Um Maybe what you do is you'll create an object for the class, and then you'll assign values. But instead of that, you can have a constructor, so that you can initialize when you create the object itself. We say that as dynamic coding. Okay, as I said, no, this doesn't have a specific scenario you should use, only to initialize, that's all. In real time also, if you want to initialize any value to your variable in a class, you can use the constructor, that's all. It
Okay.
doesn't mean that only in this particular scenario you should use, no. Only the purpose of constructor is nothing but to initialize, that's all. You cannot do anything other than initialization for in a
Okay.
constructor. You cannot write any code inside this constructor, no, you cannot do that. Usage of constructors for initialization, that's all. And in real time, if you want to initialize any data post creating an object, for that you can create a constructor, that's all, nothing else. Okay.
Okay. Like is any like arithmetic operation can we do like in the constructor? Uh, any type of like
uh, uh,
arithmetic operations or printed
uh,
print out
like,
message.
no, you can constructor, you cannot print message and all, no, don't do that. Okay.
Okay.
um let's say this is your addition, let's say you have an addition class. Okay,
Okay.
I'll write the code. Let's say you have a class addition.
Okay.
Okay, and this addition you are going to do uh, let's say int a,
Yes.
int b.
Okay.
Okay. Now in the static void main, you are going to create an object for the class, so that you are going to do the addition. So inside this, let's say you are going, you create a method, uh, public int return type, with return type int
Okay.
add. You have created the method so that this will return a plus b. Then now you need to initialize this. Let's say, so okay, this is a very good example. Now say you have a static void main, now you are going to create an object for the addition class.
Okay.
Addition object equal to new. Okay, So now I'm asking you to dynamically return send values and return the add return values from the add method. I want you to add and give you the result. So how will you assign values to this A and B?
Okay. Using the object name, first we
Correct.
can get the value.
Object A is equal to 10. Object dot B equal to 20. Let's say
Okay.
I can do this. I can call the method also object dot add. If I do
Yes.
this, I
Yes.
have initialized the value A and B is 10 and 20. Then object dot add, when I am calling, it calls here A plus B. It will return A plus B, which is 10 plus 20, 30.
Yes. Okay.
This is one way, no? Instead
Yes.
of this, what I can do is what you can do is A is equal to C, B equal to D. That's all. And when you create an object, you can pass this 10 and 20. That's the only use. Now you understood. Instead of writing these two lines, you write these things. That's all.
Okay.
That's all. That's the use of a constructor. Nothing else. But you cannot write console.write line, those things and all inside a constructor. Constructor is not meant for that. Constructor is only meant for initialization. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Anything else with constructor?
No. 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 Okay.
So next is access modifiers. What is access modifiers? So now, by now, you are seeing multiple public and all public keywords everywhere. So public thing you are seeing, no. Hello. The public keyword is an access modifier, which is used to set the access level or visibility of class, fields, methods, and properties. Anything. Okay, to anything. See, even for class, methods, for anything, we are adding this public, which means this is the access level. Let's say. Okay. So who can use it or who cannot use it? So there are different ways of different types of access modifiers: public, private, protected, internal. Okay. So when you declare something that as public means anyone can access and everywhere you can access it. Okay. The code is accessible for all. 1 second, I'll plug in the charger. Yeah. So code is accessible. Code is accessible for all. So private means it is accessible within that class only. Protected means code is accessible within the same class or the class that inherits. Within the same class or the class that inherits. We'll see what is inherits. It will be coming next. Internal means it is same like public. So we said that public means the code is accessible to everyone. Internal means if you are creating one more, you can create multiple projects here also. This is what we call it as solution, and this is we call it as project. We can have multiple projects. So when you create something as internal, it will be accessible to the other projects also. Public means it will be accessible only within the project. Internal means it will be accessible to other projects. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see the difference between why public and this one. So we said that public is accessible to everyone. No, let's say okay. So you have food, and what is this public color? Okay, I want you to assign value to this color. Food dot color. You're able to initialize a value. No, this color is accessible. No, let's make it as private. Okay, even now it will be accessible. Okay, but I have made that as private. No, wait.
I
Ah,
think
I'm going to a different class. Okay, so I have written many different classes. Okay, let's not use this. This is will get confused. Okay, I'll do this. So you see vehicle, car model, figure. Okay, let's say I have this brand. Okay, mm, brand Ford. Okay, so vehicle. I should have written somewhere. Okay, I'm searching. Ah, mm, okay, I'll create an. I have created a method. So test dot brand. Okay, done. Done.
okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this brand to private. Can you see this throws error?
Okay.
And it says vehicle dot brand is inaccessible to its protection level because you are trying to access that particular brand from a different class. This is in vehicle class, and if you see you are in a different class, this class is class 1, right?
Okay.
See, the brand is throwing an error everywhere. That is because of the accessibility. So what you have done is you have put an private, which means it will be accessible only inside this class. You can just call it inside this vehicle class. That's all. Got it?
Yes.
That is a public and private. What is protection? Okay, so protection will be like okay when you are learning inheritance. Okay, I will just start with inheritance then. Okay, so what is inheritance is basically when inheritance is I'll just simply give a glimpse of inheritance so that I will take the inheritance later. But I just wanted to tell you what is protected. Okay, so inheritance is this is the syntax of inheritance. You can refer one class to another class. You create one class and inherit that class, which means Inherit means you can use all the methods and properties of that class in this class. That is inheritance. So if you inherit one class in another class, then you are inheriting all the methods and properties of this class in this class. That's all. Which means you can use brand, honk in a car model without even declaring them inside the car model. Okay.
Okay.
This basically we do it for avoiding code rewriting code. Let's say you're going to write 10 classes, and 10 classes is about students. Each and every class you should declare a variable called student name, student id, student college, and all. Okay, let's say that's what you're going to do. In 10 classes you are going to rewrite this variable, no? That is not needed, no? A good way to write a code is you should not rewrite even a single line of code. Okay. So to avoid that, you can create what you can do is you can create one class. You can write all the common code in this class and just basically rewrite, inherit that class, no, everywhere. That's all. When you inherit, you can use that code. So you are writing it only once, and you are using it everywhere. Okay. So that is called inheritance. We'll be seeing better later. But yeah. So let's say I am having this field in my vehicle class. I'm inheriting this vehicle class here, which means this field now belongs to car model also. Okay, because of I inherited. Let's say I'm going to make this as protected. Protected means I can use this brand inside vehicle class as well as car model. Okay, now you see it is throwing error here because I cannot use it outside the class. Now we are in class 1. That's why it is throwing error. I cannot access this. Protected means I can use it here. That's all. Here, the class that is inheriting. Okay, only inside the car model I can use it. That is protected. Any questions on access modifiers?
Mm,
Public,
uh,
private, protected, and internal. These are the 4 access modifiers we have in C#. That's all.
okay. And public, can we use like different project?
No, public you cannot use it use in different project. For that you should use internal.
Okay. For that we can like creating the object and you can directly call that property like.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Internal and all we do not use it. That's not see, if you can use a particular object in different projects, it it's not safe, no.
Yes.
That's way. So
Actually, like for creating object, we also need to add reference, right?
correct, exactly.
Okay.
Let's say you're going to use internal, and you're going to use this object in a different project. What you should do means in that project you should refer this project.
Yes. Okay. But any like for internal, any like when we should use?
When you should use internal, you're asking.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's say actually in very real time what we do is sometimes we need to write different projects. Okay, let's say this is your let's say your real-time requirement is like you need to create a project that does addition, subtraction, multiplication. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to create each project. Okay, one project for each operation.
Okay.
uh, Addition, and another project for subtraction, and another for multiplication.
Okay.
But I'm going to create field that is going to be accessible in all the project. Then I can use internal. Why I'm doing different project is because sheet is not needed, but sometimes we do that for an if your project is very big and very complicated, uh, to look neat and nice, we create different project so that you don't get confused. Okay, if I'm having different projects, if I go to this project, I'll see only the addition logic, so that is neat and clean, no? For that we create different projects, so then we can use internal. For one object we can share among the projects and we can use internal.
Okay, we
Got it?
can say that like real time, like was email application. It's different project,
Correct.
and our code is in a different project.
Hmm.
So we can like at that time we can use internal also.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So that is the use.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, no.
Okay, so we'll just pause for today and we'll continue tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be seeing into properties. Then we'll see inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, interface, and all. So maximum we'll be completing C sharp tomorrow. And yeah,
one is I have seen like asynchronous uh,
what is that?
uh asynchronous programming.
Asynchronous and all we'll see in ASP.NET only.
Okay, okay, okay. And
Asynchronous is about
okay,
running and methods asynchronously.
okay,
Uh,
okay,
that is not a concept in C sharp.
uh, okay.
That is a
It's like a
framework
dot.
material. Yeah, it's a framework
Oh,
material. It's a way how you run a method. See, let's tell you something. C sharp is a language. Okay, so C sharp
okay,
means how you can write a code. Okay,
okay.
framework is how you can run the code.
Oh,
Okay, so asynchronous, synchronous, asynchronous, task, await. These are all properties of .NET framework that you can use to run a code differently. Simply
okay,
asynchronous means you, let's say you have a method. Let's say you have this method. You want to run this method. Okay, and this method is sending emails. Okay,
okay,
it let's not emails. Yes, okay, it sends email. Let's have the same, and it should send the email attaching a file. And
mm,
this file, to create this file, it will take almost 2 minutes. Let's say, okay,
okay,
so each method will run 2 minutes. So it should create the file and it should attach the file to the email and it sends it. Then it is in a loop. Let's say it is in a loop. Okay,
okay.
so for let's say for 10 people you should send that file, and you are creating the file every time. What do you
Okay.
think C sharp will do? You are running it in a loop, running the method in a loop normally. Do you think your C sharp will wait every time and send the create the file and send the file? Actually,
Yeah.
C sharp will not do that. No, C sharp will not wait. What C sharp
Okay.
will do, no, it will come to the method, it will go to through everything, and if it takes 2 minutes, it will not wait. It just passes and comes to the next. That's all. It will be in the loop. You will not see any emails
Okay.
because your C sharp doesn't have time to wait and all. It just runs. Okay. If it is an SQL, let's say if it is SQL means it will wait because it SQL is you connect with SQL and it has to get the return value, so it will wait. But for email and all, it will not wait. So for you to make the C sharp wait for an operation to be completed, we use asynchronous await. Okay, asynchronous means it says don't run in the synchronous means what, you run in the same line, no. Asynchronous we say don't run in the same line, just wait for some time. That is asynchronous. So that is the thing. So but we'll see that and all in ASP.NET, don't worry.
Okay. Okay. So I think this up tomorrow is last class.
Yeah, C sharp will finish tomorrow. We have all the hoops concept and few advanced concept in C sharp. We'll
Okay.
finish them tomorrow, and then I will continue with SQL. Then after SQL, I will start with the .NET. .NET Core you asked, no? So, but before that, I will cover .NET on a high scale.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm. Yeah. So
okay.
we'll see tomorrow. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.